Today, ChillPoint has acquired CheckPoint for $1.3 million in stock options. This is ChillPoint. And somehow it is also a leveraged buyout.
Yeah.
Cool.
That ChillPoint or CheckPoint borrowed its own stocks.
Right. So which of us is getting fired?
No, nobody's getting
no.
fired. Just everyone's going into debt.
All the shareholders are getting a bunch of money, but
Yeah.
also getting a bunch of debt, and it all cancels each other out.
Yeah. Joke's on you. I've been in debt since I've been born.
Yeah, stocks can be worth anything. That's true. You can't say what stocks are worth.
Yeah. It's all made up as
There's
it is.
only one kind of stocks I'm interested in, and it's the one where we put people in them and throw tomatoes at their faces.
Be great if that was the well, that's why they're called originally stocks were. Anyway, hey everybody, welcome to ChillPoint show where we talk about our new corporate acquisition CheckPoint, as well as other video game news that happened during the week. Let's.
Can I request that news stop happening? Or they maybe do a better job of not doing stupid things.
I mean, you can request that.
Well, maybe not stupid things, less terrible things.
The wheel never stops turning.
I know, it's really annoying.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to take a break.
You can request that, but it might not have too strong an effect, I'm afraid.
I mean, at the top of the show, we did really put in the least offensive thing that is going on in video game news this week, which is just
the Capcom Cup stuff.
it's just that
No, that was near the end of the show.
it's just that it's like, hey, this company's doing a corporate merchandise collaboration with another company that makes
that's true.
merchandise. It's
Oh.
so
That's
banal.
true. The first Checkpoint story, it kind of maybe like a little bit of a little throwback.
Yeah,
Kind of.
it's nice. It's like a
Old
caprese
school.
salad,
Yeah.
It's just like you've had this before,
was-
you know it.
What was the other one? Timberland?
Timberland.
There was a comment where someone would said, well, what about Sonic Timberland? In which case, if you're watching this for some reason, you're a few episodes late.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I think
Slowpoke.
Sonic. I feel like there's at least 2 or 3 Sonic collabs going on at any given time.
Yeah.
It seems to be quite a heavily collabed, at least at the moment, especially with the movies and stuff.
I would believe it.
And yet, nobody does. All these shoe companies collab with Sonic, but nobody has shoes that look like Sonic shoes.
Nobody has the strength of will
I
to
kind of
produce
liked
them.
the blue ones out of this set.
They do. They look cool.
They're not bad.
I like
But
Tails's.
But Timberland did that too. When they go to make a Sonic collaboration shoe, they make it blue because Sonic is blue.
Yeah, and I mean, I get it. They should be red.
But not understanding that Sonic wears shoes.
But
They're red and white.
I don't think I could wear Tails' shoes. I like Tails, but I don't know. Yellow shoes.
The yellow shoes, they're pretty bright. They're pretty bright.
I don't think I could pull that off
I also
in a
like
confident manner, right?
They have they show the shadow shoes and the tail shoes also having interchangeable leather straps,
so you can have shadow shoes with tails.
It's got
Accents?
it's got this little accent you put on the laces or something.
Yeah, but not just the lace keeper or the lace cover or whatever you want to call it. They literally have these what look to be Velcro straps that go on the side that come in different colors, and you can see that on the side of this on the side of the tail shoe, for example. You can see on top where the tongue is. They put the shadow charm up there,
Right.
Yeah.
But they also that's one of the 2 charms that comes with the shoe. But they've also put one of the black and red slashes across, and they swapped it for one of the white slashes to go on the side of the shadow shoe.
Customizable.
That's
Yeah,
kinda neat.
so you can change those out. Looks like you can change out the tongues as well from white to red if you manage to buy both pairs of shoes. But they don't show that the Sonic shoes can do that.
The gold ring
I do
in
like
the
the gold
laces
ring. I
is
think
pretty
that's kinda
tight.
cool.
It's a very good idea.
That's a nice little accent.
Really good idea.
I also did I don't know, just as a collab, as a thing. I don't know,
They have a big pedestal with a.
well, they look. It's such a like a model shot.
It is, but it looks like modeling a gang.
all the kids
And
are
for
vampires.
Like-
yeah, it's just like, ooh, sort of looking really cool, but it's like wearing this like silly Sonic merch
Yeah.
while
Yeah.
looking really cool.
Yep,
This
they
fashionable
have to.
gang is gonna like definitely steal my lunch money.
Well, none of these kids. This must have been taken at 12 noon on in Hawaii because none of these kids are casting any fucking shadows anywhere, despite the shoes.
You're saying they weren't in a blue void when they took this picture?
Pretty sure they weren't. Yeah, that I'm just like, there's not even a subtle like they had to shop in the shadow after the fact.
I know you've been trying to get us to go to Hawaii at noon so we also can take photos where thing isn't, but they're not going to approve of that.
Yeah. I also want to call your attention. Please zoom in on the photo on the shoes of the kid on the left. I want to talk.
Zoom and enhance.
Well, this is good, actually. Yeah, I want to talk about what the fuck those socks are. What is up with those socks?
What, the
Puma
Puma? Oh,
socks?
the like.
Can you explain that, Paul?
Are those?
Are those calf-length fishnet stockings? What the fuck are those?
Are those part of the Puma socks, or are they like a separate pair of socks that they're wearing underneath?
Or
I don't know.
is it because
This kid is also
they've
wearing
got
them.
them too? For all we know, those are fish scales. Then they're trying to hide the fact that they're mermaids.
They're doing a shit poor job of it because
Well,
they got them in a
Have you
promo
ever
photo.
been a mermaid on land? It's a lot that's hard.
Yeah, it's very difficult. I'm guessing that the Sonic shoes we're seeing there are also ones that have the interchangeable whatevers as well. It's not entirely clear to me whether they do or they don't, but I'm going to make an assumption that they do. So yeah.
I also wanted to say that. Beej wrote this story, by the way.
In case you couldn't tell.
Well, we forgot to mention who wrote each story. I think,
Yeah, we only mentioned
in the
Nelson's
outro.
and Cameron's, I think. But it was, I think, if
Because
you heard us...
the people who
yeah.
are on stream who write their own stories seem to keep forgetting that they write their own stories.
Yeah, but I don't, I assume that everyone would understand that I'm going to read my own story.
But the Beej has the thing here where he says, Puma is doing a collaboration with Sonic as opposed to with Animal Crossing, and because the characters in Animal Crossing don't wear shoes.
Yeah.
Which meant that I had to do a Google search for Animal Crossing villager feet because I wanted a picture of
Oh
Animal
no!
Crossing.
What else did you find?
so-
Did you have safe search on?
It was so the things that there's pictures. The thing that I mostly found was
Animal Crossing socks.
No, was pictures of Animal Crossing. They have here are all the Animal Crossing characters, but then there seems to be a people who set up their house with furniture such that the position when the villager comes and sits on it, they stick their feet up,
Yeah.
and so then they can take pictures of their
So their feet face the
their
camera.
toe beans.
Ah.
And
Okay,
and so
yeah.
and so they're there's just a Reddit post that was a whole line of villagers all sitting on these chairs with their feet up and look at what I got. And it's I don't know if the villagers are consenting to this interaction. They setting up your entire house
Oh my
such
goodness.
that you're just
None of
for
the
taking
animals wear shoes or socks.
candid photos.
No, none of the animals
This
do.
means that entire industry of buying socks and shoes is just for you, the
Yeah.
one human being who lives in this place.
Yep.
Well, a lot of them have hooves, right? So would you? I don't think
Yeah.
you really even need socks. And
But that's the
shoes.
thing; they're not buying the socks or the shoes, Paul.
No, but
That
you can
means-
buy socks and shoes
But
in
you
the
can
game.
buy socks and,
But there are
socks and shoes in the game for the character player.
Yeah.
Which means that their entire economy for that product line is just
just
you.
for you.
Yep.
It is a bespoke thing.
Yeah.
They learned how to make socks. They were like, what? Tubes for feet? Why?
It's
Humans need it.
It's
okay.
why-
I guess I'll work on figuring out how to do that.
But it answers the question as to why I don't have to supply my shoe size whenever I have to buy it. Whenever I have
That's
to buy
because
shoes.
they definitely went and measured your feet in your sleep.
Yeah, they make shoes because they saw you wearing shoes. They're like, okay, this is what a shoe is. It's like, yes, and they're like, well, we need to make sure that we can make it to fit.
I saw
the
we had a
villager.
raid, and the first thing I did was try to find out the weirdest thing I could try to say as they came in. Hi, raiders.
We're talking about Animal Crossing feet.
It's slightly relevant to the checkpoint story.
I
that
like
we
to
talked
think
about.
so. Yeah.
It's very relevant.
Stick around.
Everything is relevant when it comes to animal toe beans.
Anyway, but yes, we did actually cover the Animal Crossing Crocs shoes story a couple weeks ago.
Which is why I thought it was worth an offhand remark.
Indeed.
Yeah.
And
And also in Checkpoint Bang Beach's universe, apparently the console war is still going on. I didn't know it's over.
When
Also,
did you mention the console war?
yeah, you talked about the. Not only is the console war going on still, but it's still between Sega and Nintendo.
Yep.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah, we got to get
At
you
school.
an updated
Yeah.
Nintendo Power or something, I guess.
Yeah. Despite the fact that this story that you're reporting on right now was linked to from Nintendo Life.
Yep.
The story about Sonic stuff was on the Nintendo blog.
Which you'd think would be very unusual, but yeah, it's very. I have to assume that the experience that children are having in elementary school right now is the same experience I had in elementary school growing up. That they map 1-to-1.
Identical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's all part of growing
we've
up.
already been over the fact that your school life didn't make any sense compared to everybody else.
Apparently?
in your own peer group. So, I'm amazed that you want to map that onto.
Yeah. Nobody knew how to play Foursquare, but we all made up our own games.
Foursquare was fun.
Yeah, nobody knew how to play it. They painted it on our asphalt blacktop, whatever, and
We had a lot of somewhat mysterious mystic symbols painted on our like on the thing that like
By
they
students?
paint we came back from summer holidays
and they just had decorated.
and there was like a bunch of these like different things to play games
Okay.
painted, but like nobody ever explained what they were for or
Oh, yeah.
what the game was.
yeah.
Yeah.
Did either
And
of you
so-
have tire swings on the playground?
Maybe
No.
we had like a swing set thing,
When you
but-
had
I can tell you what we did
when
have
you
made
were
of
in
tires,
school. When you were in school and you had recess time on the playground.
Mm-hmm.
Was your playground filled with sand, small pebbles, or tiny bits of rubber?
initially it was like wood chips,
Oh,
like a hamster, I guess.
Yeah.
And then they replaced that with the rubber.
we had sand for the longest time, and it gets windy where I grew up, so there were like literal days where the playground was empty and everyone would because
There was just like a sand dune
you had
over on the side.
you had to go outside. I think we thought we had to go outside, so there was like you could tell what way the wind was blowing because everyone was hiding on one side of the building to not get just sand in your face.
Ours were sand for a while
And
until
then I think they went to rocks.
yeah, we went to gravel eventually.
Yeah.
We went to small. It's like I don't know what you call that size of gravel, but it's like a small pebble gravel, and it's not smooth. It's all jagged and chunky, so it hurts more when you fall on gravel like that.
Yeah, I don't really understand the conceit of that one.
Yeah, which is funny because in other playgrounds in the area, they did sand for a while, and then they moved to wood chips, the big fat wood chips.
Yeah.
And that was supposed to be like, oh yeah, this will be a lot better. Won't blow around, and it's also softer than sand a little bit. And except that I think the problem they had was bugs would live in it too, so you'd end up with like bugs in the playground or whatever. What we had on our playground is we had some stuff that was built out of wood, and the wooden parks were like really cool. But also at the other end of the playground where you'd have your classic like metal merry-go-round or your swings or your like slide, they'd also had a bunch of stuff built out of old tires. and they had
You
like
had the three old tires coming out of the ground.
yes, but also they had a fort that was built that was a bunch of they had taken a bunch of tires and made cubes out of them, and then they like combined them together to make like a stack. And,
Wait,
like, a
yeah,
long
no, I
stack.
had that around kindergarten.
Cool.
We
Yeah,
had,
it was-
we had a giant tire structure
It was rad.
that
It was,
kids got stuck in sometimes.
Yeah,
We-
that's happened too.
We had
And water would collect in them, and kids would pee in them.
we had these
Water definitely collected in them.
a big assortment of these structures that were made out of like large wooden large wooden
Yeah, like rounded on the side, but they were mostly like
Yeah.
they were beams, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
but they weren't like a plaything. They were just like this structure, and there was like different parts that you could move around and stuff.
Oh, okay.
And there were like signs that were supposed to like explain, like it was a sort of misguided like exercise thing. Like it was like, oh, you can like lift up this thing to do stuff and do
Right.
things. And it got put in like before I went to the school. So like must have been from like the 70s or
70s.
something. And nobody knew, and like we never used it in like PE or anything.
Right.
And so, I mean, it was just a big structure that we would just like climb on.
Yeah.
It was kind of fun.
Yeah.
But there was always this like it was like these like mysterious sort of Stonehenge like artifacts. It's like, who left them there? It's the ancestors.
Yeah,
we
they're-
do not know.
It's for us to play on, I guess, but what do we do
what
with them?
were they for?
Yeah.
Nobody knows.
This is not a place of fitness.
Yeah. Anyway. Let's move on to something else very much about our childhood, which is very large corporate acquisitions. So yeah,
Every day has your childhood.
yeah, that
You
always
walk around,
happened.
corporate
in-
acquisitions just
always
happening left
happened
and right.
from kindergarten. Yeah,
Wondering
so
who was going to be next.
yeah, so this was probably like the biggest like story that was happened sort of broke this weekend. So Electronic Arts is going to be bought out and taken private for $55 billion US. As Cameron wrote the story, and as he says in it, and I think is sometimes glossed over in the reporting of it, this hasn't happened.
Yeah.
It
This has been agreed to, but it hasn't
best
been...
case scenario, we're talking like 2027.
Yeah.
And that's assuming regulatory approval. I don't know if that, because this isn't like the Microsoft Activision thing, because it's not like a merger. It's
No.
just going public or private. So I don't know what the regulatory situation for that is. Anyway, it's this weird, the leverage buyout thing, which talked about a little bit in the story. Won't get into the details of that, but it is a very weird financial system where
Three groups.
yeah, the Silver Lake, which is it's a Silicon Valley investment company.
Okay.
The Public Investment Fund, which is from the
Saudi
Saudi Arabia,
Arabia.
and Affinity Partners, which is run by Jared Kushner.
Right. And they're it's like 55 billion
They're putting up.
to buy, but they're doing some sort of weird loan thing, which means the company itself acquires 20 billion in debt.
This is a common thing. I believe this is what happened to Toys R Us in the United States, and a lot of other companies have this happen. Is that whenever private equity comes along saying we're willing to buy you, they're not willing to buy you at the rate that you're setting up. They're saying the deal will be that you will take on a massive amount of debt, or we will take out a loan to help buy you. But what we will do is we will sign it into the name of the company once we have bought you, and then that way we'll saddle you with that debt. And then what we will also do is suck all the value out of your company by selling your IP or spinning off other things into like, and they just basically make like a big corporate mess, and then they keep the original company holding the bag of all the debt and everything else, and so they have to go out of business, and then everything that was not worth anything to begin with. That ends up getting sold off to other people, and a whole bunch of people never get their money back, and it feels like a massive scam. that is completely legal.
It seems weird how many of those exist. Legal ways
Yeah.
to leave companies holding bags of shit.
Now, obviously, Electronic Arts doesn't have, people don't necessarily have a lot of deep affection for Electronic Arts these
Not
days.
these days, no.
So, I mean, I saw somebody in the comments was like, I can kind of see the positive in this. Like, this was in the YouTube comments. They're like, scenario A, Electronic Arts, goes out of business, and the various IPs get auctioned off to other people, and maybe those other people can do something more interesting with the IPs.
Yeah, potentially.
Scenario B, the Saudi Arabian government or these other companies have to keep putting in more money into EA in order to keep it afloat.
Yes.
In which case, it's taking a bunch of their money, which is also a win.
But
So
everything's starting to sound really good. And, except that it's like scenario C. Like, if you want to pick the good scenarios where it's like, here's where things might work out really well. It's like, sure. But here's where things might also work out pretty badly is that people might be driven to be like, okay, now make a game. Like, by the way, you also owe a whole bunch of money in debt. So go ahead and make a game, and we're not raising anybody's salaries, and we're not doing anything good for the employees, because why would we ever do that?
Oh, we're probably firing.
We need to keep as much of this. We need to take as much of this money as possible and dump it into servicing our loan for the next number of years.
Clearly, the financial situation for people working for EA or one of the EA studios is precarious at best.
But if you are an EA stockholder and you happen to work at EA still, because they might give you share options or whatever, and maybe you can utilize those share options now, you might be able to make a bunch of money off of that by selling all of your stock once that comes through, and then I don't know, maybe you'll have enough money to walk away from the company and do something else.
I mean, you are selling your stock, right?
Yeah.
Like, the whole point of this is that there won't be stock anymore.
Yeah, you'll get $210 per share, and whatever you end up with, that might be good for your retirement fund.
So this is an interesting point that this is my lack of knowledge about how these things work. But so the situation was that last week the EA stock price was $168 per share.
Yeah.
So they offered, and they're offering $210 per share.
Right.
25% over the stock price.
Yes.
So everybody's very happy about that if you're a stockholder. Which means, because one of the things that they have, one of the things that they have to get like shareholder approval to do this.
Yes.
And so obviously offering 25% over the market rate is a good way to get shareholder approval.
Yes.
So they've locked that in $210 per share, which means obviously the stock price of EA stock is now
Valued at 210.
210 or like very slightly below 210 because you might as well, if it was worth less than 210, then you might as well buy it because you know you're going to get 210 for it when it sells.
Exactly.
So from what I understand, that means that until this deal goes through in 2027 or whatever,
Yeah.
EA's stock price is effectively locked at $210.
That's correct.
Maybe does that mean they have like this year to just like do whatever the hell they want?
Yeah, because it should have no bearing on whether, because if they're like, we're gonna do this no matter what.
That's assuming they actually go through the deal, though.
Right.
Right.
Well, but until that point happens, like the thing is, because at this point also, EA can't turn around and say, this is fantastic. Also, by the way, we're spinning off BioWare into its own studio. Like, we're selling it and making it a subsidiary and doing whatever. Like, they could do that if the people who are trying to buy EA were like, we didn't want BioWare anyway, for example. They could be like, we're not interested in that. And like, great. So we're going to let them spin off and take Dragon Age and Mass Effect and everything with them because they've opted to do that. But that might also queer the deal.
Right.
And then because now EA for the next year has to also, or at least in 2027, the EA has to like also do whatever they're told by the people who want to buy them so that they cannot queer the deal and keep it from turning to shit, right? Because like EA can't take any steps to change anything about their business in such a way that would make their partners say, or make these the acquirers say, actually we're not interested,
But-
right? Because that would void the deal.
But from what I understand, though, the acquirers also can't rescind the deal without cause.
Yeah,
Yeah. So but
everyone's
they-
locked into
it's
basically
not like you
torpor.
can, it's not like they can go have a fun bachelor party and do whatever the heck they want, and
Right.
nobody knows, and therefore they'll get married the next day. It's like there's still consequences. They can't just go hog wild if they want to have the thing happen.
So there's definitely like this thing of for the next until 2027 or into 2027 or whatever, everybody has to stay the course on this thing. And that also means that EA has to continue doing the things that they would have been doing anyway to continue to make money. So it's not as if it's like everybody just stops working and waits for this to go through. It's like, no, they have to keep making the games they're going to keep making. They have to keep making deals in the way that they would be making deals, like all that. But everyone is going to be doing this with the thing in the back of their mind being like, I am going to go make I'm getting our studio to make a game, or I'm going to Paramount to say, hey, give us a license for Star Trek to make games on or something.
Yeah, like
and then Paramount is like, oh, but now I also know that they're going to be acquired by this other company, and am I okay with that? Maybe that influences what Paramount wants to do.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be a weird time. And I mean, obviously, if you're somebody working for an EA studio, I'm sure there's going to be a fair amount of exodus over the next little while.
Well, yeah,
as people
because-
start, as people decide that they don't want to risk the new situation.
It's true.
But anyway, this will be an interesting one to see what actually happens. This whole thing of it being the biggest, the biggest deal of this kind basically ever, I guess. To the extent that it's like, I don't know. This is definitely one of those like throwing around that like $55 billion and $20 billion in debt and all this stuff. It's at the point where it's just like, these aren't real numbers.
Yeah.
It's like that doesn't really mean anything in the context of the what a company, like how the company operates and stuff. It's just like, okay, it'll be a big thing, but
Yeah, I mean,
guess we'll see.
if they had just gone after buying all the stock that they could get their hands on, that would be different, right? If they were just like, we're just going to start purchasing stock, like we're just going to put a buy
Saudi
offer
Arabia
out
has
for.
been doing that for ages now in the video game space, where they've been buying
Well,
more stock of things.
Saudi
I
Arabia-
think they owned like 10% or something. Close.
9.9%.
Yeah, close enough.
Well,
There are laws.
if you own 10%, it becomes a separate thing. I believe I would guess there's
I guess
like
they owned as much stock as they could.
there's disclosure laws for a thing. I would suspect that they own 9.9% of a lot of companies,
yeah,
Yeah.
along with Tencent. Yeah.
Yeah, they actually have
Jesus.
stock in a lot of video game companies now. I mean, we've gone over that before because it's the more that they creep into things like gaming, it feels like a reputation washing.
Mm-hmm. Oh, certainly, yeah. So we'll see. It's sort of it's weird to be like, oh man, poor Electronic Arts. Although my favorite take, somebody was like, oh no, Electronic Arts is getting Electronic Arts,
yeah,
being bought and then cut up and sold,
yeah,
which is what they've done to many, many other studios.
yeah.
Yep.
So anyway, I guess we'll see what happens.
I mean, that's pretty much all we get to do,
The only thing,
Right.
especially as Canadians.
the only thing I want is just, I mean, well, they're American headquartered now. Like that's the thing. Despite the fact that we've gone on about like EA having meaning a lot to Canadians as well, but it's like they're American headquartered. I don't know how long that's been going on for, but that's what's on the Wikipedia article. And it's like, right, you guys have probably not been closely associated with Canada for a very long time.
Were they originally Canadian?
My understanding was there was like a major office here, and it was kind of like, does that mean that they were? Because it's weird, because Trip Hawkins is not
like they still have a big office in Vancouver.
exactly.
Yeah, I'm
But-
pretty sure Electronic Arts has always been American.
Yeah. Okay. That's good.
But obviously,
company.
as mentioned, they do that. BioWare is Canadian,
Yeah.
and yeah, you could do worse. I'm glad a lot of people in the comments. I was like, when we I was like, I almost want like, I wish YouTube still had like annotations and stuff. There'd be like a little thing popping up being like, FYI, this is a joke. Justin Trudeau is not popular in Alberta.
I would hope
hence the amusing juxtaposition that is being proposed here.
I would hope that people would understand that was a joke. I would assume that our audience is a little, given who we are, I would assume that our audience is a little more aware of like, oh, we hear them talk about Canada stuff sometimes, so you learn a little bit about it by osmosis. It's like
Look, if
it's
I
like
have to
following
learn-
somebody who's like, oh, I grew up in Chicago. They're like a comedian who grows up in Chicago. It's like, I learn a lot about Chicago just by listening to this person talk about it.
Like, if I have to learn your American political jokes, you have to learn our Canadian political jokes. It's just the end of it.
Yeah. Fortunately, it's a very short list.
I did like the picture that I used there. I pictured there's just like a promotional picture or a whatever publicity picture of Trudeau like in a cowboy hat barbecuing.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
With like some other at like a community event where everybody's like wearing cowboy hats.
PR event of I look good here. Yeah.
And I was like, okay, that would be good for Trudeau in Alberta. And then I like went to the article, and that picture was the header picture for an article. Be like, why Alberta hates Justin Trudeau.
Yeah. It's like, oh, it's fine. We know why.
Yeah.
It goes all the way back to his dad. So.
But anyway, and also I saw a couple people shouting out the for when he talked about Mark Carney being centrist, and that was
the image of the samurai.
Yeah, that's was it
It's making a Paragon and Renegade joke
little,
for Mass
yeah,
Effect.
it's what's the samurai?
Lone Wolf and Cub.
Yeah, Wolf and
Yeah.
Cub. Yeah.
Yeah.
So people appreciated that. That was Cameron's image request, and yeah, it worked really well for that. Anyway, let's move on to Capcom sucks. Which-
Well, yeah, for different reasons depending on what fandom you're in.
different reasons. Now, while I was setting up for this, I had a corner of my eye on chat. I think they may have been talking about this a little bit during the Oki Oki Fight Club stream earlier. I don't know what Nelson. They probably have a more informed take. I mean, Nelson wrote the story, so obviously he knows what's going on.
Yeah.
But they probably have a more invested take, I guess. But yeah, the idea of the Capcom Cup charging for their
Doing pay-per-view.
doing pay-per-view for their finals has a lot of people being very unhappy about that. It's obviously, I mean,
It's the first time they're doing it, which is always going from free to a cost will always ruffle feathers regardless.
yeah, at a certain
But,
point, it's like it was free and now you're charging. So obviously, people aren't going to be happy about that. The larger question of, is this a bad move, both for Capcom and like the fighting game community in general?
Yeah.
As the idea that this like what is ostensibly sort of the highest level of competition, the best players won't be people won't be able to see it. That kind of sucks.
I mean, there are definitely arguments to be made for showcasing that stuff off because it is essentially PR for your franchises and your games and your company, right? So to charge for it,
that's the whole reason why you're running the
that
tournament
kind of
in the first
thing.
place.
And
like the tournament itself isn't really supposed to be like a big money maker. I mean, maybe they are, but I get the impression that they're not really supposed to be like a big money maker. It's a PR thing for the game.
Yeah.
But maybe it is.
I mean, if they think, like, this is probably one of those we need to see if it's worth it situations, is how I feel. Is that they're like, we need to see if it's popular enough that people actually do want to do a pay-per-view thing. Because, like, you can put two people in a ring and make them punch each other in the face until they fall over. But the moment you put the words Ultimate Fighting Championship on top of it and charge $35, to watch it, it's like no one probably just wants to watch two guys kick the shit out of each other in an alley. But it's like, but the moment you say it's Ultimate Fighting Championship 348 coming for you live from this place in the world where we're going to make this legal, it's like that kind of thing makes people want to drop $70 on it. And it's like, yes, that's largely, if that's what Capcom is thinking, that they're like, oh, we can get people to pay to watch people virtually kick the shit out of each other, then maybe they think that there's a line there to make that worth it.
I'm sure there's a little bit more in it than somebody said, hey, maybe we should charge for this. I'm sure there's a little bit more in the sense of there are other sports that do this kind of thing.
Yeah.
There are other esports that do whatever. Maybe Rock Pusher says a sign of esports legitimacy, maybe. Like,
yeah,
it's true.
I'm sure, like, Capcom is not like a tiny company that doesn't have anyone doing research or looking at stats and going, we think we can make something out of this.
Yeah. And if
they didn't, generally you don't say, hey, we should take a big event and just do that and see what happens. Usually you have more behind it than that.
I mean, in some ways it's the calculation for these kind of things is one, how much audience are we going to lose?
Yeah.
But then the other part of it, which is maybe slightly more subtle, is it's basically you are like, okay, we have, X amount of goodwill with the community. Mm-hmm. How do we burn that into money?
Yeah.
And that works for maybe a little while.
Mm-hmm.
And that cannot sometimes be not so good for a long-term strategy.
But now this makes it even more of a product, so that means they have to be responsible for how they provide the product, right? If you're gonna sell me a streaming service, my base expectation is that I'll be able to watch you guys play the game, and so therefore. Even if there's no bells and whistles, even if there's no like greater production or whatever, it's like my expectation is that I'll be able to tune in to watch this thing and be able to watch it from one end to the other, and that'll be it because I've paid for it all of a sudden. If it was free and there were like, sparkles and whatever, it'd be like, okay, that's one thing. But it's like, well, now that I'm paying for it, I actually expect I'll be able to get it in high res.
That's a good point.
And I'll expect to get it in like and have better looking whatever. And
there have been a lot of sort of high profile. Esports broadcast mess ups. Mm-hmm. So it'll be interesting to see. I mean, here's a question actually, just as a hypothetical. Would it be more acceptable to have it, as opposed to a pay-per-view, it's being broadcast by Amazon Prime or Netflix?
Yeah.
They both have live broadcast stuff built in now. So you don't need to do the pay-per-view, but you have to be subscribed to whichever those things are.
Ignoring the whole thing about how I think either company, one or the other, has fucked up live broadcasts in the past. Ignoring that aspect of it.
But it's like, would it be more compelling if it was, if there was like, a reasonable chance that you might already be subscribed to the place?
Yeah.
Or that it's like, oh, I can do this and then I'll get other stuff because I'm subscribing to the thing?
I understand where you're coming from. I think there's also this I think from the perspective is that would mean you'd have to sign up for Netflix if you don't already have Netflix, right?
Right.
So now putting that on the other foot, that means you have to sign up for Apple TV if you don't already have Apple TV. Because what if Apple TV competed for it and said, we'll win it, and then they make a thing for it? It's like, now I have to sign up for Apple TV for a month. Do I have a method to get Apple TV at home?
But I mean, like, that's, there's all the the sports are doing it, right? Baseball
Yeah.
and
Soccer's doing
soccer
that, yeah.
and hockey is on Prime now.
Yeah, football is available. I think
They're
there's like a Thursday night
exclusives.
football
They're
thing.
different
Yeah.
things. So
What
I
do
mean,
they
does-
stream through right now?
sorry,
What do they stream through?
what does the?
They
Yeah,
just
what's
stream to
the-
YouTube.
Is it a YouTube thing? Is it a Twitch?
I'm assuming
thing?
it's a YouTube or like a YouTube Twitch multi-stream
Okay.
kind of
So
thing.
for them to go to Netflix, because let's just say it's Netflix, would be like, we're not doing these other things. We're going and doing this. I think you'd still get a little bit of people upset at the idea of, I have to now pay for a service that I don't care about.
Right.
And yeah, you probably get a bunch of people who don't care because they already pay for that service. But I think you still end up with the same kind of a little bit of disgruntle over it.
I mean, I think if you did it that way,
People might be more
there might be more you
understanding of it because you went to Netflix.
Well, if it's bundled into your Netflix sub as well, right? It's like I already have Netflix and I can go
providing
watch
that they think Netflix is offering them like a good reason to be
Yes.
and again there would be an expectation that like if it's on Netflix, if it's on Amazon, it's like, oh, they've got Netflix money, they've got
Yeah.
Amazon money. It's gonna, I'm now expecting it to be that level of
Yes.
coverage.
Yeah.
Not,
Well, I mean,
some of the things that have happened in the past where it's just been like, hey, there's a guy with a phone camera.
like I mean, when we do like the pre-releases, right? We want to keep to a certain quality of production. Like we want to put like a good face on the game. Or anytime
Right.
not even just PPRs, but anytime we're streaming any of the stuff what we're doing, it's like we try to make a good looking overlay. You try to make everything clear to people so they can see what's going on. You have
Yeah.
as many features and stuff built in to really help communicate the play and everything that's happening with what it is that we're doing. And
We could turn those streams to you can only chat sub only.
wasn't where I was going with it, but what I was more thinking is that it's like that kind of the kind of quality and the upgrade that you make where you're like, we want to be able to show, we want to have a card recognizer built in so we can tell you what the card is so you can see it, and also have a chat command trigger when that happens too, and like all those kind of like the technical stuff that we built in. And then you say, well, yeah, before you have a guy with a phone camera that's trying to like show what's going on, and it's like, right. So when you step up to say, we want to have we're going to take some money from Netflix, but Netflix is bringing in their streaming group to work this event, and then they're going to be providing a level above what you would normally expect. It's like, and also like with other sports presentations, like when you're going to show like CBC coming in to show a hockey game, but like Sportsnet doing the same thing. Like they all have their own teams and their own broadcast trucks and shit. And
And to be fair, like, there's lots of esports presentations that are done, extremely professional. Like, it's, but sometimes they don't. Sometimes they have problems.
yeah,
Just how it is.
I'm just saying that they don't necessarily have to go, like if they're using Twitch, they don't necessarily have to go pay-per-view, right? Like subs let you watch a thing ad-free,
yeah.
for instance. Or like I was trying to say with the PPRs, like we could make it so that you can't chat unless you're
Sub to the channel.
sub to the channel.
Right. You're saying
right?
there's other monetization
Which
things they
wouldn't
could do.
like prevent people from watching, but if they want to actually yell at us, we get danger pay then.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like there's more mid-ground things that, and maybe they already do those.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, we'll see. We'll see. Apparently, there's been a bit of chatter that I forget what his name is, but the produce, like the director of the Street Fighter was not informed that this was going to happen, and there's been some internal pushback
I imagine that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
against this whole thing. So maybe there'll be some
I
adjustments.
saw a thing that
I mean,
was
it's not
like,
until
I swear I saw
for
someone
like
that
6
was like,
months or so.
oh, the producer and the devs didn't know that this was happening, and I'm kind of like, I mean, I guess they should maybe know what's going on with their product, but they work on making the product, right? The PR and like the other stuff is generally a fully different group of people.
yeah.
That I don't know necessarily has to inform that group
No.
that this is going on. So to me, it's not that weird that they don't know.
I
I mean,
mean,
they might be upset about it.
Yeah.
And I definitely think they would have wanted to know, and maybe they want to be part of that conversation. But like, just the way sometimes people state things.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
like, yeah, why would they?
Yeah,
though,
you wouldn't expect that he
necessarily.
would have complete authority over everything.
Yeah.
Like there's about what 20 of us in this office that move in and out, and not every single one of us knows every single thing that's going on.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one of those
Always.
things where it's, especially when it's like when it's a controversial decision, and it's like, you know, the guy who's sort of ostensibly in charge of the product, even if he didn't, you know, even if it's not made by, a decision isn't made by him, he's going to get asked about it. So
Yeah,
it's kind
no, I
of
expect
it's kind
that
of
he
a dick
probably-
move not to give him a heads up on it.
Probably ends up knowing, but you know,
But-
that I wouldn't expect him to necessarily know that being part of even the discussion. We had one more story. It was something about price rising, wasn't it?
Yeah. Speaking of prices happening that make people sad, Microsoft is, as well as increasing the price of the Xbox consoles to varying amounts, up to $200 more expensive for the Xbox Series X 2 terabyte Galaxy Black,
Yeah.
which, I'd be honest, before this, I hadn't actually looked at one of those. It looks pretty cool.
Good.
It's like black with like the like glowing green like stars on it.
Oh,
like,
okay.
As a galaxy thing.
God, I just
it looks
flashed-
cool.
All right.
But not.
I just flashed back
$800
to like
cool. Yeah.
like oh man. So my parents, if I had been like, oh man, that looks really cool, I swear they would have gotten me like a box with some lights on it and been like, this is what you wanted, right? We made the cheap version for you. Isn't it so
Yeah.
cool?
It's like one of those like
I got you an Xbox and a planetarium.
yeah, it's like one of those like home planetarium things. But in addition to that, they also, the big announcement this week, because this they announced a week ago or so, or 2 weeks ago. Big announcement this week was the revising of the Xbox Game Pass tiers. And as is often the case with these things,
They've added value.
they don't. When the tiers for subscription services get revised, they hardly ever get revised cheaper.
It's true.
Yep.
So yeah, so
They definitely like to change the
Core-
names around.
yeah. Core is now essential, and standard is now premium. So it's essential and premium as opposed to core and standard. And then the ultimate is still ultimate, and everything is going up by about 50%. So the ultimate goes from $20 a month to $30 a month, which, of course, everybody has that the nice symmetry that, of course, $30 a month times 12 months is $360.
Yep.
So
that's
you
the
have
joke.
your new Xbox 360.
I just like, okay. The tier names is a thing. Like we didn't talk about that much, but that bugs me also a little bit too, because I feel like there's always a rotating. Well, for one thing, core and essential are two words that are reasonably synonymous with each other, right?
Mm-hmm.
I
Especially,
mean, that's the whole idea with all of this, right?
Yeah.
Is it's basically, you're just basically swapping out words.
yeah, but it's unusual because it's like, well, we know we're going to make a change to this, to how things operate here. So what do? Well, we can't just say core and keep calling it core over and over and say, and core is going up in price. Or it's like, no, we've redefined what adding value means, which means that we're
Right.
going to add some value to our bottom
There's
line
so
by
much
taking more money from you.
There's so much in core now
Yeah.
that it's essential.
It's actually essential. So it's
Yeah.
like you have to have that. And that idea of like, well, could you have a lower tier that you could call core and then have essential above it? And it's the whole like, bronze, silver, gold, platinum, diamond, Diamond, Platinum, Diamond,
Right.
Platinum Plus, like that kind of shit.
How many tiers do you need?
But the weird one for me is Standard being revised to be called Premium, because I'm like, that is not a synonymous name.
No.
That's like Core and Essential changing out names. I'm like, I can understand why you do that, because you probably have 3 or 4 names in the back room where you're like, well, every time I got to put it up by $10, just change the name up to something else, and that way everyone will believe that they're getting something for nothing. And it's like, you're not. You're slowly getting fucked, and we all understand that because that's the world we live in. But the idea of Standard becoming Premium is like, well, Standard feels more like Core.
Well, but it's the comparisons, right?
Yeah.
You can't go from essential to standard.
God,
That doesn't-
no.
That seems like at best a lateral move.
It really is.
So you gotta now that you're changing one to essential. Now you gotta up the ante when you go to the next level.
But it meant
Yeah.
that when they were planning it before, Core was like a lower tier than Standard. I'm like, but Core and Standard, like Standard is what you get in a car. It always comes back to fucking car analogies, right? It's like Standard
Only
is
for
what you
you.
get in the car at like the base level, like it's poverty spec.
well, and
It's
in the
crank windows.
and in the context of Xbox Game Pass, that is sort of what they're going for. It's like standard is what you would get with the car base spec.
Yeah.
Core is like an engine and some wheels.
Yeah. They're like, no, we
It's-
stripped out the brakes.
Yeah, like
Oh, nobody
like
needs
core.
brakes.
Core was sort of like you can get some stuff, but it's not the good stuff.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You probably don't want this one.
So we had this problem when PlayStation did this as well, when they went to a weird like 3-tiered system, and it was just like we give them all these names that don't.
Yeah,
It's
they're
not
hard to keep-
evocative.
they're hard to keep apart
Yeah.
and hard to understand what goes into all of them because the lists get longer,
Well,
and they
it's-
say things like, "Oh, you have the classics catalog." Oh, what does that mean?
so I think they listen now. It's like 100+ games on essential,
Right.
200+ games on premium, 400+ games on
Ultimate.
ultimate, including about 45 games that are coming from the Ubisoft Classics, which is now part of the.
And I'm saying that
thing,
they should
but-
then stop defining the tiers with names that try to rank them in a certain way, and they should start defining them with names. Much like Japanese kindergartens have 3 classes. They have Pine class and Plum class and Sakura class, right? And it's like, that's what you should do. That all 3 of those classes are just there's just a bunch of kids running around making noise, which has nothing to do with trees.
But
Maybe give them something that's not a Japanese equivalent for an American company.
but also it would be like that if the classes were like, these kids are all clearly way better than those kids.
Right, if you did that, but of course you can't say that, right? You can't say that the Plum kids are is way more advanced than the Pine kids, but the Sakura kids are where all the art students go hang out. But why not have Xbox Game Pass Oak and Maple and Hickory? Because the shit doesn't mean anything anyway. It seems.
used
I mean, they
do-
want to make it clear that one is better than the other.
Well, yeah, I guess Oak is more expensive.
like, and you
than-
get all the other, and you get all the stuff from the previous one. in
That's
the other
true.
one.
Yeah, I guess there is a little.
You go 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, but they're not like, you shouldn't think of them as being S class versus A class versus F class.
Okay, so the thing with Game Pass going up and like people not wanting to do it, like I actually kind of find it interesting to watch a whole bunch of people say, "Yeah, no, you've gone too far," because Game Pass was also like a huge part of their marketing of, "Oh, this game will be day one on Game Pass," and a lot of people, and especially like podcasts I would listen to, would talk about, "Oh, this indie title that maybe you wouldn't have picked up, but seems kind of interesting. Oh, you should try it out though, because you probably got Game Pass, right? So
Yeah.
you already have a service it's on."
Yeah.
Like all
And
of like that
I played lots
kind of
of-
positive reinforcement of this product.
and I played lots of stuff on Game Pass when I don't have it anymore because I ran out of stuff
Yeah.
I wanted to play on it. But yeah, I played a lot of games that I might not have otherwise looked at because they were just available on Game Pass.
Yeah.
Right. God, if you had like an indie subscription service, like the kind of thing where you could be like, I want to pay $30 a month to Itch.io or something.
I mean,
and then everything on itch.io is just available for me to play.
I mean, you know, GOG has a subscription service.
Yeah, I wonder how well that does work, because that's an interesting idea of saying to people.
You're always limited by the catalog.
There's that too, yeah. And then also, if you have too many games in the service, you have the analysis paralysis kind of thing of what we're only going to play today.
And this is the issue that I saw on the Game Pass subreddit, is they were like, okay, we're charging $10 more a month, but you're getting all these Ubisoft games.
Ah, good.
And you're getting, you're getting all these other games. You know, you're getting 400. There's going to be 400 games in there, and people are like, I can't play. I'm just, I'm only one man.
Yeah.
I can't play that many games.
Yeah.
And it's like, adding at a certain point, adding more games doesn't actually really improve the value proposition.
Yeah, it's the God. I want to liken this all back to cable television. So there is an idea built in there that's like Netflix had this thing, right? Where they're like, we're just gonna offer DVDs to people, and the more DVDs we offer the more DVDs that we put into our catalog, so people can rent a DVD and we mail it to them and then they can watch that. Well, the more of those that we have, the more people will come to us to be a part of renting DVDs. Why? Because we might have that thing that one person out there is like, I did want to binge all of Friends. You're absolutely right. It's like, but then I wanted to binge all of the Italian version of Friends or something like that. Like whatever it is, it's like, I wanted to watch this thing, and you guys have it, and I can't find it anywhere else, or I don't live in the right country to watch it or whatever, but you guys have it, so I can partake in it. And if you're the kind of person that's like me, who has never played any of the Assassin's Creed games, but maybe wants to play them, I'm not that person who wants to play them, by the way, but it's like, if you were, and then Ubisoft all of a sudden is like, hey, we're adding all these to Game Pass, you'd be like, oh, actually, that might be worthwhile for me. I can now jam my way through all the Assassin's Creed games in about 3 months, and that might be a good use of $90 for me.
Sounds like a real great way to get burned out on video games, to be honest.
There's that too, right?
You can also just subscribe to Ubisoft Classics for cheap. But
there's that too, yeah.
It's definitely an interesting thing. I actually, saying I don't have Game Pass anymore. I actually randomly have Ubisoft Classics right now.
Yeah.
Because they were giving away like 6 months for free or something.
Good value.
And I was like, oh, cool. Of course, I've played most of the Assassin's Creed games and a lot of other stuff.
Right. So you're playing Skull and Bones then.
So yeah, Prince of Persia: the Lost Crown is like basically the only thing on there that I thought was interesting. But yeah, I like that Ubisoft Classics is old games and recent games that weren't popular.
Yeah, classics.
So Skull and Bones is on there, which only came out last year or whatever. But otherwise, anyway, we'll see how this actually whether this is the
supposedly people crash to the site trying to cancel their subscriptions.
I mean, the other big thing, another difference between the premium and the ultimate is that premium games are guaranteed to be there within a year of them coming out, Xbox titles, except for Call of Duty. There's an asterisk, and Call of Duty is specifically excluded from the it'll be there within a year thing. And then premium, and then the ultimate is the day one stuff.
I mean, I wouldn't doubt that maybe if enough people have canceled their subscription over this, that maybe a change does happen. Like something comes out from PR that's like, we're reassessing a thing or something. I mean, enough people canceled subscriptions on streaming that Jimmy Kimmel came back. So
yeah,
it's true.
It's possible.
Yeah,
that you can make a statement.
Yeah, it depends on the stomach you have for watching that kind of thing change, and then also how sensitive you are to seeing that change too. It's like, will an entire business unit end up having to be shuttered because enough people walk away from the service because they're like, or also, will they say, F this for a bag of chips, I'd rather just go play, like go to NVIDIA's service, which I think is still around, or go to somebody else's, like you say GOG has a service. It's like, why wouldn't I just, a video game, especially older video games, to a lot of people might be like, you know, there's a lot of good video games on this other service. They might not be the same list, but it's also good games I've never played. Why wouldn't I just go there?
Like, yeah, and I mean,
I mean,
especially
a lot of what I've seen is people just saying they just want to buy their games outright now.
I mean, especially
For
older,
that price.
especially older PC games. You know, you can. There's a. If you only are interested, you know, if you only tend to get through a game or two in a month, and you are, you know, looking at not the, you know, $90 new releases, finding a couple of really good PC games to play for less than $30 a month is not that hard.
No, it's true.
And then you own those games.
Yeah. And you can take your time with them if you want to. Or you
Right.
can decide it's like, oh, I can't finish it this month. Well, what does it matter? I can always come back to it next month.
Yeah, and again,
play
so
Fallout whenever I want.
I think your impact ends up having is just like these weird small indie titles that people don't end up checking out because now they're really price conscious and it's not part of a service that's just on there anyway. Or maybe people play fewer video games, but honestly, people were probably already playing the same amount of video games and just not getting through them.
There's a I'm spinning here because I want to mention this because I don't know if people have ever heard this before or not. Maybe I've brought it up in the past. So if I have talked about it before, I'll try to be quick about it. The cable TV analogy that I was going to make is about how back what we used to do in the past with cable, the way that worked was...
I'm going to get another drink. I've heard this one before.
This has come up a lot. The way that this has worked in the past is that when you would buy a cable subscription, the reason why you were buying blocks of stuff, it was very hard to get ad hoc channels, like you just couldn't just do a la carte all the time, was because the cable companies were packaging stuff together based on, we know people love this and we know people don't watch this. And therefore, that means that we can spread that $20 a month or whatever it was extra for that one pack. We can spread that around to each one of those channels. Why? Because the 5 people who watch Bravo and the 100 people who watch the Comedy Channel, Comedy Network or whatever we have in Canada, it's like that they're subsidizing the ability for Bravo to actually continue to exist as a channel for the 5 people who like to watch a thing. Why? Because there was some idea that the equitability of being able to have television that you can enjoy, to be able to watch programming that you enjoy, if you leave it up to the market, we would have nothing but one type of show would get produced all the time. And so they said, okay, well, a good way to do that is when you bundle these channels together, money can get spread out in a way that means that then production companies can continue to make stuff that not everybody is watching, but we can still have that exist so that those people have a means to be able to watch something.
I think you're couching it in a far too altruistic way.
No, I studied this in university. Like I took a class, and that was the motivation. The motivation literally was to say it's like we don't want just this one. Like we don't want only these things to exist.
But we're doing all these things so we have more chances of something getting big and us making a lot of money.
Yeah, it's spreading the money around.
It's not people deserve to be entertained.
Yeah, but
we're going to lose money, but we're going to make them happy.
Well, the problem is that you'll have people who just not watch television then if they can't watch the thing that they do like. So you end up being in this position of like we have to actually find a way to move money around in the system so that we can fund everybody. Why? Because also you're friends with a lot of producers, and a lot of producers are like, well, we're here to make money off of the stuff that we make. It's like, well, why don't you just make this? It's like, well, we can't make 6 different series of Survivor. We have to make other things, because if there's 6 different series of Survivor, nobody's going to know what the fuck to watch. So we make one series of Survivor, and we make like a few other series of doing other things. And
are we on like the 30th series of Survivor now?
Yeah, at this point. But it's like you can't have 6 identical Survivors running at the same time. And so that's how cable adapted that path. And because it's like, well, we can keep that in channels then, and then people who are operating channels then are always getting these they're getting subsidized by this method. Which was great for the people who ran cable channels, because that's what they wanted to have happen, is to be subsidized by everybody in the market, and it keeps their channels artificially afloat. But the understanding is that that's good for everybody, because it means that you have a lot of choice. And if you start to erode the amount of choice by saying people only want to watch a show, that's what it comes down to, then that starts to go away. And when Netflix came along and was like, well, we'll let you pick from anything, that started heavy. That's why we have this huge effect on cable is dying and more streaming services are popping up, and we're back in the same problem we had with cable. And everyone's like, God, I got to pay $150. It's like, yeah, well, you had to pay $150 back in the day when it was for cable anyway, and we knew this was coming. And that's the thing about these. With all of these kind of services, like everyone's trying to adapt to a different distribution model that is ultimately very similar to the previous distribution model, but now all the power is couched in the companies who own the content as opposed to the ones who are broadcasting the content. And I feel like that's similar things that we're seeing with with GOG and with Xbox and with everybody else who's running their own services where they're getting games into whatever. They're more like cable companies used to be, where it's like, we don't own all these games, but we do have the rights to broadcast the game to you so you can play it. We haven't turned it into this other service of we own the content ourselves and it's our games and only our games, like Disney does.
Microsoft
owns a lot.
Does do that.
Yeah.
And, Ubisoft, like a lot of them are
doing their own
we
stuff.
own do thing.
Yeah.
Anyway. Let's move on. To someone who isn't playing video games, and that's Shirley Curry, aka
Wait.
Skyrim Grandma.
I thought she was only just not playing Skyrim anymore. I don't know. I want to make the claim that she's never playing video games again.
One, we don't know whether she's not playing video games anymore, and also, she might be that she's just not streaming it anymore. But anyway, she's was known as Skyrim Grandma. She's apparently she's actually. The people have made like mods to add her in as like an NPC in Skyrim. So you can, and to be honest, like I hadn't really, I'd like sort of vaguely heard about her from other stuff, but I hadn't really watched any of her stuff. And I had to get that clip for the outro, and I was watching it. I can see why people like it. It's very fun to watch this little old lady who seems to be like a very nice person.
Yeah.
But also going around, attacking people with swords and shooting, but she's also really good at. She's been playing the game a lot, so she's good at it.
Yeah.
And she goes, hello grandchildren, and all that stuff. But she's saying, she's been playing it for a long time, and what I thought was really interesting is she was saying that she wasn't getting the kind of interaction that she. She's grown tired. Yeah. She's gotten tired. She's saying she might do some sort of blogs in kind of stuff. She's saying, I have a few older regular viewers. Most of them seem to be very young kids and children, and I'm not getting any feedback from them on the videos. All I get is, hi, Grandma, love you, Grandma. This isn't what I was spending my time making uploading videos for.
Oh, mood.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Man.
So she was
She ever
like,
had a cat enter the video? Because then people only talk about the cat then.
She wants to like talk Skyrim strats.
Oh, I feel you. Man, nobody's ever excited about the thing that I'm excited about that's in the video, and which means I can never tell anyone what I'm excited about because no one ever comments on it. They're always just like, oh, there's a cat.
Yeah. It's so funny because like before I came to work here, just getting up in front of a group of people and doing improv and having them laugh and having them enjoy it was awesome, right? Mm-hmm. And then we did like an autograph session a couple times because they were like, oh, you guys are guests here, you should be part of the autograph thing. And so you do that and you're like, that's really cool. And you get to have people come by and be like, you guys are so funny. And it's like, thank you so much. Like, we appreciate that.
Yeah.
You have very like limited kind of exposure to.
You get like maybe 20 people.
Yeah, you don't have people
which is kind of neat.
Yeah, you don't have a lot of people like gushing over like, oh, that thing when you said this, or you guys should make t-shirts of that. Like those things don't happen. That doesn't really happen. And coming here, I was like, oh wow, like you start to see more like you guys in chat, for example, you start to see a lot more interaction. People are saying a lot more things. Like, that's really great. But it's also not in every corner of what it is that we do. So I completely understand where she's like, I'm not getting the same kind of I'm not getting the interaction I want, because off the bat, she's probably getting a lot of, oh, who's this woman? Oh, this is really cool. Oh, that's awesome. And then she builds a following and a fan base, and they all call her grandma and whatever else. And it's like, okay, then you start to revel in that. But then after you do it for about a decade, you're probably like, but this can't be all there is. Like, if I'm just constantly having that kind of facile interaction with the people who come in, they might love me, but it's like, you can talk to me more, like say things.
And people are leaving, and new people, and younger people are coming.
Social interaction with streamers is really hard,
and you don't know how
you don't like. For one thing, they're also busy doing a thing.
Yeah.
So, and then when it comes to stuff like YouTube comments, people don't necessarily know what to say, and some people don't want that interaction, and it's hard to tell whether they want that interaction. Plus, on YouTube, you get a lot of the whole like, oh, well, I guess tell me what your favorite video game is, because we know that the algorithm does maybe something, and we're trying to get that to go on. And then, like, if your fandom's too big, can you really have many conversations in there in the first place?
Yes.
And some people just want to hang out and say hi.
She's up over like 1 million subs and stuff, right? So there is that thing where, you sort of get, it can be kind of intimidating.
And then honestly, then
isolating in a way.
You get people who do try, and then sometimes. Because, okay, I'm not saying this is like a real example of just saying this is like outwards in the internet, things I've seen, where someone will say, hey, I definitely want feedback from everyone, because they do. But then people are like, all right, here's your feedback. And then they get angry at the feedback, because what they were really asking for, what they really wanted was praise.
Yes.
But what they got was critique.
Yes.
And maybe not like the best critique, because critiquing is hard. It's a thing you have to like do a number of times, and writing it out in a way that makes sense is hard too.
Yeah.
And what kind of language you use. Plus, on top of that, a typed out language, how a person interprets that is completely different than maybe how you meant it.
Yeah.
Because it's hard to read sometimes what intention of tone is.
Or even if it's good intentioned.
And even if it's good intentioned.
It's like they're not aware of the compromises that had to be made to make the thing in the first place.
Yeah. And then on top of that, if the streamer decides to read the comments that day because they're like, I just need some like positive whatever, and they see a bunch of criticism, and then they get tilted, like it's just an impossible scenario.
Yeah. There's too many of us that are living that are in this parasocial thing, and it's like that's not something they teach you how to deal with when you're socializing. Even like if you get good at socializing in high school, it's like that is not going to prepare you for having 1 million people who love you. That's why celebrities have to insulate themselves with a retinue or with publicists or with other people, because it's like I need to exist at a remove from the people who love the work that I do.
And if you come in the middle of a stream and you're like, oh, there seems to be sound issues, and you think you're like, I'm helping.
Yeah.
And immediately you get slapped down for that.
Yeah.
You've just entered the room. You don't know about the 2 hours of tech that person maybe has tried to do.
Yeah.
But
it's complicated.
It's not good feels for anyone.
Yeah. So and as somebody who,
and then people get scared to say anything because of that kind of interaction.
Yeah.
Other people can't read a room to save their lives regardless, so they keep having that interaction. Like there absolutely no I have no criticism of anybody who is like, yeah, you know what? I'm not having fun. She's 90 years old.
Yeah, good for her.
She's like, if you're not having fun doing it, don't do it.
Yeah. I don't have a lot of time left. This has been fun, but maybe I need to stop playing Skyrim for a while and play something else. It's like, that's fair. But also, I I wonder, how often does she stream? Like, does she have regular shows? Does she have irregular shows? Does she have there been other, it's like that. It's an interesting story that to me now, but it's like, but then how much of your life do you want to open up to the internet to let them know? Right.
Yeah. I mean, at 90, I feel like your schedule might be open enough if you're in good health. Yeah. That you can stream fairly regularly. Right.
Yeah. I think she also does a lot of her stuff with like YouTube uploads and things as opposed to like straight streaming. But
cool.
Anyway, let's talk about a couple things that didn't make it into the episode. The Finals is a arena shooter type game that has been going along for a little bit now. Season 8 of the finals just started, along with a big tournament in Stockholm, the Stockholm Grand Major. But anyway,
I feel like the finals is a terrible name for anything. I feel like it has no
feels like
no
it's-
way of Googling that at all.
it's grammatically difficult.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's that.
But I'm also wondering if I don't know anything about the game. Here's what I picture when you say that. For one thing, I think it's like NBA the finals, right? Like they have branding for that. So I assume that so if this is a game, whatever this game is, it is because I assumed first that this is like people saying, well, it's the International. Did you watch the International? I'm like, what fucking game is the International? And it's like, is it like Overwatch? Is it like it's Dota? Why wouldn't you know that? It's like, because it's just called the International. Like, if no fucking, I thought that was a hotel. So I get a little like, I don't get it. So when this game is called the finals, I'm like, so is this like a game that's based on like the NBA finals, or is it like based on something else? And so find out it's an FPS. I'm like, oh, was the idea that, here's what I picture. Is it a game that is set up to feel like it's a big spectator event with like fake crowds that are watching you in an FPS game, but it's every time you play it, it's always the final showdown between
like the Hunger Games.
like 5v5. Like it is very Hunger Games, right? And it's like you're on a team thing or you're all by yourself, but it always feels like it's like Smash TV, like that kind of thing. Yeah.
Within the context, within the reality of the game, it is a game that you are playing, except you have like guns and stuff.
Right.
But it is it
is a production. It's meant to be like a broadcast production that everybody enjoys.
And as part of that, the game has sponsors. It's like
Glurp.
Yeah. But
Really? Does the sponsor they have make them have
like-
faulty anti-gravity?
I don't think so.
Because I think
which I think is a real
they should
miss.
maybe
Yeah.
they should consider that. I think more glurp mechanics in some FPSs could be
That's
really
true.
entertaining.
There's an energy drink sponsor that has like posters all up and stuff in the game, called Ospuz, Ospuze.
I like Ospuz, yeah.
Ospuz?
Ospuz. I don't know how that's supposed to be pronounced.
That's how we're saying it.
Yeah.
Ospuz.
It's a Swedish studio, so maybe it's
Ospuz.
supposed. Anyway,
Pixie.
Is that an I? I thought that was supposed to be like an L. Pixel.
Pixel, maybe? I don't know.
yeah. So the that's how they pronounce it
Does
in
the
the game.
flavor say sour corn?
Sour core.
Oh. Well, I mean, they cover the last letter. I don't know. I'm just like, I guess it's corn.
I mean, most sports drinks by default
they
are
taste like sour corn.
Yeah,
Like,
or-
I mean, come on.
So this is an energy drink in the thing. Pixel, PXL, is a real energy drink company.
Oh.
Which is I believe it is actually like a Swedish energy drink company.
Okay, sounds good.
And so they're doing a collab where they're making it real. They're taking it from either Pixel is producing a real energy drink. Yeah,
definitely tell us in the comments how to pronounce Ospuz.
Ospuz.
I
yeah.
love Juki.
I love it when people in comments tell us how to pronounce things because most of them don't actually use pronunciation. They just type it out again.
No.
It's really funny.
So this is like Brondo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like I said, this isn't the first time something from a video game or a movie has come into the real world.
Yes.
But it's also kind of fun that it's like a Swedish game developer and a Swedish beverage company that are kind of joining forces on this. So
I love it.
Yeah, it's nice. They this collaboration with Embark Studios is the developer. Feels like the ultimate validation of everything we stand for. This is from Pixel. We are bringing a piece of beloved virtual world and placing it into the hands of gamers. There's a lot of that like, oh, this is a sweet gamer drink.
Hey, I have a merchandise question.
Uh-huh.
Can we make Alert energy drink
Yes.
and then say that it is the ultimate validation of everything we stand for?
The thing is, we can. Like, if we already have Supox, right? We have H2O2 Supox, super oxygenated water. We had that as a crap shot. I'm like, they're like, it's the ultimate expression of who we are, so whatever. And like, what it is You changed a label on a drink that you probably already make. That's all you did.
I don't know. I think if they go with my sour corn flavor idea, it could be brand new for them.
It's sugar-free sour core.
It would be different if it was
What
like...
flavor is core?
Yeah.
Again, it might as well be corn.
It's the flavor that was the lowest tier of the Game Pass.
Yeah. Sour core. But Brondo had this thing with Idiocracy where
Right.
I'm pretty sure, was it Powerade or Monster or one of those companies?
Yeah, one of these companies made a real Brondo.
They said, we're going to make a real Brondo, and they didn't. And it's like, oh, that's funny. Haha, neat. But it's like, all you did was make new labels and
Yeah.
say, here's this thing.
But here's the difference. We like it when video game things come into reality, as long as our reality doesn't go into video games. Like that time they put real batteries in I don't know, Alan Wake or something.
Oh, where you were like real dead batteries in your flashlight.
No, branded.
Oh,
It
did
is
they?
like when the branding
Duracells?
stuff comes in.
I think it was Alan Wake. It might have been a different one. Might have
God,
been
that
Resident
would be
Evil for all I
shitty
know.
if you had like a faulty flashlight and it's like, what do I have in here? And I have Duracells. It's like paid for by Energizer.
I mean, your batteries don't last very long in Alan Wake. It's not really a great advertisement.
It is not. Absolutely not. But yeah, it would be very easy, I'm sure, for us if we wanted to find a company out there that manufactures something that we don't already would make in a merchandise to be like, hey, can we slap our label on this? And like, absolutely. You just have to cross our palm with tens of thousands of dollars, and we will do that for you. And I think this is cool. Like, I'm not shitting on this idea. What it is we took something that we already know how to manufacture and we put a new label on it. So we don't need to get like out of control about this, but I think it is also funny.
It's the culmination of their entire life's work, Beej.
Yeah.
that we have people who work for our drink manufacturing company that we pay a lot of money to test new flavors and to draw all sorts of stuff and to do all these whatevers, and the culmination of our work was to go to a completely different company and let them come up with all the stuff that should go into it instead.
Yes,
and
this
then
is
we
why
made
I
that.
want us to make merch in this vein, because I think it's hilarious, and I
Yes.
think it really suits our brand.
Speaking of people making things that are cool, a modder put a Game Boy Micro into an Xbox, into a Nintendo 64 controller.
Oh, okay, that's how they did it. I didn't read the story. I'm sorry.
So the
Oh Jesus.
you can see they
Oh, okay.
cut out the thing and then they made it so like the where the expansion or the rumble pack goes is where they made
cartridges
it so
go.
you can put the cartridges in. And what I like about this is the in the article it was like they were like to create the or to create the mod, the person made a large rectangular hole in the middle of the controller and placed the Game Boy Micro display there. Which I like the idea. It's like, and that
That's
was
all
it.
I did. Yeah, just put the thing there,
You
and
got a hole.
weirdly,
The Game Boy
it
Micro
worked.
is really small, so it's just pretty, no. But then you like wired up all the buttons and everything so that the buttons of the
Yeah.
Xbox work on it, or not Xbox, the N64 controller. And they've also you take the power switch and put it. You know, they've done all stuff. USB port on it so that you can charge it.
Makes sense. Yeah,
So yeah, you can.
that is a fun little project.
Man, the Game Boy Micro was such a cool. I feel like it's it's 100% like the smallest gaming thing that a big video game company put out, and is like kind of why like it has a lot of that like why did you put this out?
Yeah,
But it's
Yeah.
also because it is so small.
Yeah.
It is very interesting.
I don't think it sold super well, partially because of the time frame it came out as well.
Well, it was right at the very end
Yeah.
of the GBA.
and it was clearly meant to feel like a fashion item, that it was supposed to be like, you can have this, you
was
hang
like
it from a lanyard and you can like carry, like how
or
people
like
are
a
carrying-
keychain or something.
Yeah, people are like carrying their phones now on fucking straps on their body, as opposed to like having them in a pocket or a purse or anything else. It's like, I just have a strap that goes over my body that then I hang my phone from, so I can just walk around and slam it into shit all
Yeah,
day.
there's usually some extra things that you can also hook other stuff, like a bandolier.
Yeah, it's very odd, and
It's very cool.
yeah, I don't get it because I'm old, but that's fine. But it's like back then they were like, oh yeah, take a Wii strap and type situation, and you can hang your Game Boy Micro from it, and then you'll always have like this little gaming device to play with. And it's like no one, I think, wanted to do that at the time. I think maybe they thought they could get like a fashion
I think if
thing
they
going,
sold them
but-
now, they would go over really big.
Yeah, I
And
seem to
they're
remember.
also very small.
Yeah, I seem to remember people that they were like. I remember a thing that they were included in the.
Kind of like playing on a half Joy-Con, actually.
Yeah, the feeling at the time that I remember people saying is that it's like you would find them in the luxury gift bag things that they give to rich people when they attend events and shit.
Well, and they had like interchangeable faceplates.
Yeah,
too,
so
so
you
you
could
could get like
Oh,
fancy
yeah.
faceplates.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
didn't make that many
Again-
because again, it didn't last super long. But
Yeah.
But I think it's the fact that I don't have one for my collection is not like a heartbreaker for me that I don't have a Game Boy Micro, because I don't feel like I need to have every Nintendo console in our house.
No.
I need to have one. To
just
me, it's
need-
like I want to have ones that can actually play all the games.
I
but-
just need the Zelda ones.
yeah.
Or some of them. The ones that look good. I don't think the Hylian Shield one looks that good. I think that looks crappy, honestly. And everyone touts it as like a really cool looking 3DS, and they're wrong. The
Was it-
only cool Zelda 3DS is the Triforce one on the
Link Between
top-
Worlds?
Yeah, the Link Between Worlds one.
Yeah. It's nice and subtle, and
And maybe
it
the
follows
Majora's Mask one if it actually existed. But no, that's the gold one. I'm
Yeah.
thinking of the fan purple one. That one
Yeah.
was cool.
Yeah.
Controversial opinions.
And
coming
now
from
you
Heather.
definitely-
Zelda needs to get over making everything gold.
Yeah.
Green is a perfectly good color. The hunter green was great. They can even go with the new blue that is the tunic. But the gold era is over. It's boring and it's really tacky.
I loved
You
how
heard it here first. Heather says Zelda's golden era is over.
the Switch OLED version for the Tears of the Kingdom one is a beautiful looking.
That one's pretty cool.
Yeah, and I really like the Tears of the Kingdom interaction between gold and green that they had gone with. I don't think the Pro controller has green lines in it. It is just gold and white
no,
and
it's
black.
just gold, white, and black.
Yeah, and I think the OLED one doesn't have any of those other things as well. They're mostly just like this kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I my shirt is all the Tears of the Kingdom.
The
memories.
Joy-Cons they did for Skyward Sword were really cool because
Yeah.
they were
Blue and purple.
blue and purple, and then the straps were a combination of colors for Fee's leggings.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, I agree that I would love to have seen more of the Tears of the Kingdom green kind of make its way into the
No, even just Zelda green at all.
the colorways. But
Well,
well,
how about, here's something that's less fun.
Great!
I guess.
Oh, good.
I love it. Terrible
I'm
news.
so hyped, Paul. What's less fun?
Here, why don't I actually, okay, so this is, this is a Roblox story. Let me actually,
Guess I should have guessed. that part.
I'm just going to read you Roblox's response to this story.
Okay, all right.
I'm not going to tell you what the story is, just the
I mean,
response first.
all right.
Okay.
Okay, listening.
We welcome and value creativity and expression on Roblox. We also respect that families around the world have different approaches to discussing certain topics with their children and want to empower parents to determine what content is appropriate for their family. This policy makes experiences centered around such issues inaccessible by default to children under 13 and gives parents the ability to enable these experiences through parental controls. The policy impacts very few experiences on Roblox and gives parents the ability to make the best choices for their family.
Okay, all right. So they've made parental controls a thing, and
Okay.
it's like they're not great, but it'll be like, hey, your kid can't play video games after 10 p.m.
What is it actually about?
So what it is Roblox has added a content descriptor to experiences, or a new content descriptor, because experiences
Okay,
are
so you
various
have to
content.
you have to describe your content.
Yeah,
okay.
various sort of keywords.
Okay, that makes
and
sense.
The word and the term is sensitive issues.
Like I'm on my
and-
period. What?
And
Yeah.
if a game is classified as sensitive issues,
Oh,
then it is restricted from kids 13 or under, and they need parental approval and stuff.
this is like
And so the guidelines for what's marked as sensitive issues is content that provokes a strong emotional response,
So everything.
or touches on polarized viewpoints.
so everything.
Yes, include according to Roblox, this might include experiences that speak on issues such as immigration, capital punishment, gun control, marriage equality, pay equality,
In sports and
prayer
other
in
places.
schools, racial profiling, affirmative action, vaccination policies, and reproductive rights.
All the things that maybe that might be complicated for kids to hear about, but they seem to have a pretty
So-
good idea how to fix them. Is just to let people do stuff.
So, in an open letter, 3 organizations, Women in Games, Out Making Games, and BAME in Games, put out an open letter criticizing this idea and saying, saying it represents a step backward both in creative expression and social justice, with this idea that it's sort of this like soft.
Because they're not.
It's the sort of soft. I mean, it's
Yeah.
the thing. Obviously,
They're
we're
not saying they're not allowing them on the platform.
right, but it's like we're not on Roblox, but like we're on YouTube, and
Yeah.
like there's all this stuff with like, well, YouTube doesn't want you to talk about this, or doesn't want to talk about this when you're talking about this. You can do it, but the algorithm's gonna
It's
make
why
sure you
people-
don't get seen, or you won't get monetized, or you won't get like there are lots of sort of soft block ways of doing
Yeah.
these
It's
things.
why people say things like unalive and
Right.
stuff now, is because they don't want their supposedly saying words like kill or death or whatever
Or suicide.
As if the
causes these things, and it's really annoying when you watch somebody talking about a book where the book literally says something like "to kill a mockingbird,"
Yeah.
and they're like, to unalive a mockingbird, and you're
Yeah.
like, that no,
it's like
No.
as if
No.
this algorithmic system that YouTube uses, that is constantly evolving to stay ahead of people trying to game it, wouldn't be able to take simple substituting a word into account
Yeah.
when they're doing it. Anyway,
And yet apparently it doesn't, and I'm like, in that case, which is very interesting, because what also sounds an awful lot like doublespeak, doublethink, whatever, newspeak. Newspeak is what 1984 had, where it's like, you're not allowed to say this one word, you have to say this other word, and that's much better because it won't let the thought police won't come at you. And I'm like, are you guys not seeing how you are playing into what the thought police are allowing or not allowing? But
so so this is this thing where Roblox is sort of obvious, like Roblox has this, they're simultaneously under attack, or under a lot of scrutiny from, obviously there's all the stuff about people grooming underage children, or contacting people they shouldn't, or getting information they shouldn't, or all this kind of stuff.
yeah.
But then on the other side, and so they're like, whoa, sensitive description, anything that's good. And on the other side, it's like, wait, no. And again, that's the same thing that happened with, again, on YouTube, right? There was a bunch of stuff that was some legit, objectionable, really weird content that got in the like kids stuff.
Yeah.
And Google and YouTube was like, well, can't have that. We got in trouble for that.
Yeah.
Let's just shut this whole thing down. But now, but let's shut it down so that anything that is even, talks about
The issue
LGBT
itself. Yeah.
or LGBT stuff,
Yeah.
which is immediately classified as sexual content
Yes.
somehow.
Yeah.
Or that any that all sorts of stuff gets kind of swept up in the attempt to try to do it. So
I mean, I'm sure that there are people working at YouTube that had a grin on their face when they were like, finally, I can do this thing.
I mean,
this thing that I've been waiting to do forever and ever, because shitheads work everywhere. So
every single YouTube video we put up, I have to mark it as not made for kids.
yeah.
which is that thing where it's like, it's not made for kids. It's also like not made for kids.
It's not like
Yeah.
kids can't watch our content. Or maybe there's some content you might not want them to watch because maybe people get like really swear heavy.
But it's like,
or-
this is not our
or
intended
something,
audience.
But we play a lot of video game stuff, and so it's like, no, I have to click the thing that
Yeah.
says we didn't make this specifically for children.
Yeah. I mean, the point of view, like obviously the heavy thing right now is if you live in an area that is currently undergoing the kind of censorship and changes and all these kind of things, where it's like, oh well, everything has to be sanitized for children. It's like, obviously you got to call anybody who represents you in your government and give them shit about it and be like, I don't want this. I've never wanted this, and you should actually be stopping that. But at the same time, we also want to have a world where we don't have to refer to Roblox as a pedophile hellscape anymore. You know, we want a new report that comes out and says, actually, they took care of that whole problem, and it is a nice place for kids to go play games now. And it's like, sure, fix the predatory licensing model a little bit, but fine. But it just feels like it's like, oh well, we decided to turn up the get worse dial. That it's like, now we're gonna make sure that it's like, if we have a queer character in one of our experiences, that becomes sensitive issues. And I'm like, what about the fucking insensitive issues? Do you have a thing for that? For when people are like, oh well, I put a bunch of guys in like white pointy hoods in my game, and it's like, that is not a problem as far as Roblox would be concerned, I guess, because that has nothing to do with pay equity in sports.
So most of the time, what I see when I see things about having to sanitize things for kids, I mean, there's like pedophiles. Sure, you don't want that on your platform. Great, we can agree on that.
Yeah.
But when it's things like, oh, we can't have queer people here, I'm like, oh no, what we're really trying to sanitize is the fact that parents don't want to have to actually have conversations with their kids.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I sympathize with parents who are like, I don't know how to do that, but I'm like, but this is not the way to follow through on that shit. That's not, if you don't know how to have that conversation, you can talk to people in your area to figure out how to have that conversation. And really, it's just like these, people exist and people are all different. It's a very straightforward thing. People can be different, and it is okay for people to be different.
So anyway, I'll post this is the open letter, has a lot of good information in it and some cool stuff. But yeah, it shows how, the reactions to these kind of things can, you can, if you have, it's like, oh, marking for sensitive topics at its, at the outset seems like a fine thing to do.
Yeah.
But then it comes, okay, well, what do you actually consider to be a sensitive topic?
Yeah, who's making that decision? And when you start making
Now we
that
start
decision,
getting-
what are you doing to actually limit that kind of stuff in the first place? So,
Anyway.
yeah.
I was about to say, let's go on to a sillier thing, which is kind of the case for this, although it's sort of not. So, Fortnite. Fortnite added or Peacemaker is in Fortnite from the
Oh, I heard about this.
The Boys?
new
no,
TV
it's
show.
it's
the
a
TV show.
superhero TV show thing.
He was in the Suicide Squad movie. And
Oh,
he
I
was-
see. Okay.
It's a very good show. Or the first season. I haven't actually seen the second season, but the first season was really good. John Cena is Peacekeeper.
Okay.
Or Peacemaker.
Peacemaker.
One of the really cool one of the sort of iconic things about it is the intro to the first season and the second season has the entire cast doing like this very complex choreographed dance that's really silly.
Okay.
That like the bad guys and the good guys dancing together and all this stuff. Like it's sort of very, very well done. And the second season dance is different than the first.
Yeah.
First
So
season dance.
my understanding is that he's in an alternate reality or something, and it's kind of meant to be this.
So yeah, okay, so
I feel like the context is important.
well, that's the problem. Is that it's a very sort of like he's got a cool dance that he does, and so Fortnite loves cool dances, so they put it into the game.
Yeah.
Official, like it's like a licensed thing. It was or not a license or whatever. It was a collaborative thing. It wasn't that they like stole the dance or anything. They worked with the production company. They put the dance in the game as a cross promotional thing.
Sure.
Great. And it turned so as the show has progressed, it turns out that there's some stuff. I haven't watched the second season, but from what I understand, there's some. There's like alternate reality or alternate timeline stuff where like the Nazis won and there's stuff around.
It's supposed to be, my understanding is it's supposed to be a satire of essentially how white people will do Nazi shit without realizing they're doing Nazi shit.
And Peacemaker's whole thing is that he's like, I am keeping the peace by killing people. Like it's not, it's explicitly like it's not subtle about its
right
thing. Anyway, but that was sort of a reveal. So when Fortnite put this dance in, they didn't know that that's where the story was going.
Yeah, the
and
dance,
there's certain
him
aspects
doing a swastika.
Well,
or something.
Again,
this is all stuff I've heard.
He puts his hands up like this, and then like one hand goes down.
Replicate.
Yeah, I'm not going to replicate.
Yeah, cool.
But he puts his hands up, and then one hand goes down, in like back and forth. It's not, unless you're sort of looking for it, it's not something that would be in any way objectionable.
Yeah, I think, but like that's like supposed to be part of the point, is my understanding.
Right. But when the context has now been revealed, people are like, oh. So they're like, crap, they take it today. So personally, the funny part about it to me is this idea that they put the dance in, and then they didn't know what the meaning of or the context was, because that was like a secret part of the show that hadn't been revealed yet.
Which means the company didn't tell them that was what was going to happen with this dance.
But
so they had this dance. The Fortnite has this dance now of him doing the move.
And so they've now taken the dance. They've sort of taken the dance out, and we're like, we were not aware of the context of the thing. So,
well, I mean, good for Fortnite for being like, hey, you know what? Let's not have a weird kind of alt-right dog whistle in our game.
Well, and people, there's an aspect of this which is the frustrating part with some of this stuff is that like lots of people are like, this is stupid, What about like, whatever the like walked like an Egyptian dance?
Yeah.
Is that objectionable now? But it's one of those things where it's like, yes, at its face, this is like clearly an innocent, like it's not, or
it's
like,
a silly dance.
It's a silly dance. There's no way you would interpret it that way unless you were already looking for it.
Yeah.
But the problem is, once it starts going that way, then it's a self-fulfilling thing. Then people who are
we definitely shouldn't be in Fortnite.
But it's like then people who are wanting to show their affiliation or their happiness about right-wing or Nazi stuff or whatever, be like, now I will use this dance. And so it's sort of a self-fulfilling thing, even if it didn't have any connotations.
It's if the show
people
is,
just randomly think about make something.
It's like you're taking parts of the show that are probably meant for satire and then making them not.
Yeah.
Right.
And then you have a constant fight over. You have a constant fight over cultural symbolism, where it's like, somebody has decided to adopt a symbol that didn't mean anything, but they have now announced fully, like loud and proud, they're like, when we do this thing with our hand, it means this, and everyone's like, it doesn't. It absolutely does not. And it's like, no, we're just going to keep yelling about this over and over until everyone decides that it is what it means, and then we'll stop doing it.
That's appropriating something that already exists. Yeah. This is something. It's a little bit different in the fact that they essentially were intending this to happen.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's move on to something
actually silly, or just not silly at all anymore?
To something scary.
Ooh.
Well, I suppose it's
like Silent Hill. Silent Hill F, in
Yeah,
fact.
the F stands for fucked.
Silent Hill.
It does. I don't think it has
Okay.
a standing, but
Silent Hill
Frighten?
frightening. Silent Hill Fear.
no, I've seen how these games work now. I
Silent
think
Hill
fucked is funny.
Fluffy.
Silent Hill Fortissimo. It's very loud, Silent Hill.
Yeah, we need 2 Fs then, right?
yeah.
It's a forte at this
Forte.
point. Yeah.
Anyway, so Silent Hill's coming out. Very exciting. I believe it's going to be on Let's Nope in the near future.
Oh, makes sense.
Silent Hill F. But very scary game.
Okay.
So maybe now this, and this might backfire actually. Maybe this wouldn't be better, but there is going to be a Japanese novelization of the Silent Hill F video game.
Like words on
Okay.
paper.
Yes.
Like an actual novel.
Yeah, they're
Okay.
gonna. It's being adapted by Shiro Kuro.
Who is a visual novel writer.
Oh, really?
Well, that's what it says there.
Oh, well then.
So the story of the game is oh no, I see here. The story of the game was penned by visual novel legend Ryukishi07, but the person writing it is an actual author. I'm not
Please-
trying to be shitty
yeah,
about it. I
don't
mean,
say
like
it that way.
I'm saying a book author, somebody who
A-
sits and writes books.
Somebody who does
Yeah.
novels.
Visual novels are complicated and they take a lot of work because
But
clearly
that's still
they have
writing.
branching
It's-
paths and stuff. It's still writing.
Anyway,
Yeah.
so this is Japanese only right now. Maybe if it's very successful, it will get a translation. I mean, this is actually an interesting idea. Like,
It's like the book of the movie.
I can think of some books and some movies that like the book, because the book, because for the book, of course, you're building up all the scary stuff in your own mind.
Yes.
It actually is worse.
Yes.
Whereas
Okay.
in the video game or the movie, they like show, oh, it's a big monster, and you go, okay.
It's been a long time since
can
I've
deal with
read a
that.
book based on a movie, and the books have never been good when they've been based on movies.
It's been a long time since I've read a book based on a game because I used to do that.
I think the last book that I read that was based on a movie was like The Karate Kid.
And I think the last book I read based on a game was Blaster Master for the NES.
Both terrifying books. I would
Terrifying
imagine.
books. Well, I mean, the story of Blaster
don't
Master
really-
is your frog gets irradiated by toxic waste and jumps down a well, and so or goes into a cave or some shit, and so then you go down after it, and then you discover a tank on wheels, and you put on a whole suit, and then you are going to go find your frog. P.S. I find my frog.
That's the
Mister-
story.
That's the story of Blaster Master.
I forgot that part.
Yep. Yep.
I thought you were just a guy in a tank.
No, there's a whole story. You're like a 12-year-old kid, and your frog gets jumps onto some irradiated toxic waste, and then jumps down and grows into twice its size, and then jumps down or 5 times its size, and you're like, oh no, my frog is now giant, but I need to go get it, and it goes down a well, and you go down a well, and the frog is gone, but you find Sophia 3, and you're like, oh. That's interesting. I guess I'll put on this suit and this helmet and give a thumbs up to the camera and climb inside Sunsoft. You do some crazy shit. And then they made sequels or prequels or whatever the Blaster Master Zero series is.
You had a weird selection of books as a kid.
Well, I wanted to play Blaster Master a lot, and I did not ever buy the game, but I did rent and play it a little bit. And then it was like, these books are available at Scholastic Book Fairs.
I mean, I
So-
did read the Sonic comic when I could, but it was not really in circulation a lot on my newsstands.
They're not really.
And my parents were not.
Is that how
cool with
close
comics.
would the Sonic Adventures comics be to the actual game themselves? would
Not
you
the
say?
game. Sad I Am, the cartoon was
Yeah.
more.
Yeah, the
same
games never
thing.
really have
Games
that much
weren't quite
plot.
like
Yeah.
that. No,
Okay.
the comic was fun.
Yeah, Sonic had a thing where they had 2 or 3 different, completely separate comics going on,
Yeah.
and TV
and
shows
I
that
liked
had
them.
huge, totally different
Yeah.
tones.
I was not really. I was allowed to read Archie comics as my comic. I was more allowed to read.
Yes.
And there's a Sonic Archie comic, wasn't there?
Yeah, that was the one I
Nice.
would read. But again, I think because my parents didn't really get what that was, they were like, no.
Did
more of the time.
Talking animals? It's blasphemous. Did you have? Were you reading the Archie comics when Kevin Keller was being introduced? I'm curious to know.
I only got them every so often.
Oh, okay. So you got like older
Again, comics are like
thrift store copies probably and stuff
Yeah.
like that. Yeah, I had like
stuff
300
in garage sales and things.
I had 300 Archie digests when I was young. I loved them.
I maybe had like 10.
Yeah, I was devouring them.
We were just
Next
at the-
story?
And personally, I didn't
we
really
said the okay
didn't
fight.
really want to read Archie because I thought he was an idiot.
We just they had the Okie Fight Club, and we talked about the
Capcom second.
Capcom stuff. But there was another fighting game tournament that happened recently. I mean, there's lots of fighting game tournaments.
Yeah, I
happening
would
all the
assume
time.
there's like one practically every weekend with the number of fighting games out
But
there.
this one's particularly exciting because the winner of the Mortal Kombat thing was a woman who had given birth by C-section 5 days earlier.
Holy shit.
And won the tournament with her 5-year-old baby in her
5-day-old.
arm. 5-day-old baby in her arm.
Good for her. Hell yeah.
Here you can see the picture of her playing.
That's kind of great. That's
Apparently, the baby was very, very calm and relaxed, despite the loud air environment. I like this. I like this story. For one thing, it's just so silly, but also it's a very sort of wholesome thing. She's this was a sort of a local. It's called the Juicy Game Night local tournament in Florida, and she was saying that it's a really tight knit group, and everybody's very very supportive and stuff, and yes, babality, right, and she Legion is her name.
her handle.
Her handle, yeah.
Because her baby's named Saritsa, and I was kind of like,
That's pretty.
it is very pretty. It's Bayonetta's name.
Oh, is it?
I have no idea if that's why.
It's still pretty.
It's a very pretty name.
A tragic aspect of this is this woman's second child. She her first child passed away only a few days after they were born due to it's this sort of cancerous disease thing, and so the publicity of this, these fun pictures of her winning there, she has been using this to highlight an organization called NORD, the National Organization for Rare Diseases advocacy group that educate and advances research and policy for treatment of rare diseases, which is what happened to her other child, very sadly. So she's doing a bunch of stuff and have been sort of plugging this, has plugged this as a way to sort of get some positive impact from this.
Yeah.
What is
Shine a light.
Yeah, Shine a Light, which is a very silly situation. So I'm very happy that they're saying, I love celebrating milestone life stuff with the people around us. I'm so glad that I had the opportunity at least a handful of times before our younger daughter was born, and this definitely won't be the last time. So this is
cool.
And I think the part of this also was this idea of sort of pushing back a little bit on the once you have a kid, you can't have a she was sort of saying it's we obviously the child's comfort is very important and stuff, but her father was also in the tournament, and he got smoked. They actually played they played each other, and she smoked him. So anyway, so I thought that was a nice, heartwarming story.
Yeah.
And then to finish up, here's another story about Bop It.
Oh, Christ.
There's a video game of Bop It coming out.
But the whole
Yep.
The whole interaction with the physical device and doing
Bop
the
It,
things is
the video game.
kind of the
Yeah.
point.
So
So, I was thinking about this. There's I think there's a video.
None of those look like videos.
No, these are videos. Anyway, so it's being published by Alliance Games, and it is as like a 3D Bop It, like a 3D model of the Bop It thing. Here, I can show you the pictures. And you click on it and then do the things as it gives you the instructions. And
Okay.
it's because it's it has there's like a 2-player mode
right.
with
right.
the two little Bop Its. And then there's different types of different shapes of Bop Its. And I was thinking about this and I was like, that's obvious, like it's obviously very silly. For one thing, I thought it would have been awesome. Like this would be an awesome thing for like Direwolf Digital, like a company, a developer known for making digital versions of physical board games.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
I see what
okay.
To
you're
do
saying.
this as like a April Fool's, it's like
Right.
April Fool's, but we actually have released it.
I mean,
It's like now you can play Bop It wherever
yeah.
you go.
This is a rhythm game.
Not even really. It's a follow the leader thing. Like you don't have to do it. You have to do it as quickly as possible after the thing, but you don't have to do it.
Sure. But when it says bop it, you have to do the right thing. Like,
Yeah.
and you're waiting on it to tell you. Like the music's
Uh,
running in the background, you're waiting on it to say this is your
That's
input,
more like a
and you do the
QTE.
thing.
I refuse to say that's a rhythm game.
Yeah. Heather has specific
The next time
guidelines.
you-
Trying to
if you-
insert this shit into Rhythm Cafe
I'm
somehow.
not playing Bop It on Rhythm Cafe.
Okay.
I'd rather we play Bop It on CTS
The
or AFK. Actually, I'd rather we play it on AFK because I'd rather we do the physical version.
I assumed that this would be a custom controller that then you can play, like you watching it on screen doing stuff while you're doing the things on the controller itself. No. It is played with standard controllers or a keyboard and mouse.
and it's going to be out for Switch as well. Mac,
We're not buying
Mac,
it.
PC, and Switch.
Nope.
Now, so I was thinking about this, and I was like, Bop It is like, aren't all video games effectively Bop It? The game gives you a certain stimulus. In response, you do it.
Yeah, like rhythm games.
Not a rhythm
You do a
game.
move, but like even Mario,
Yeah.
jump,
Yeah, attack,
you
bounce,
push the button.
pogo,
No,
get hit
no.
by the boss,
Push the
fucking
button.
die, respawn on the
Mario
bench.
doesn't.
God damn it.
Mario doesn't tell you to Bop It.
Well, they do by just showing you the thing that you have to jump on.
Yeah, bop the Goomba.
But if you just stand there in the first screen, nothing happens.
That's true. That's true. Auto scrolling level,
Fair enough. Okay.
but it's like
Isn't Shogi ultimately Bop It?
Bop It.
No.
Bop It is like it's distilling, rather than if you replace Bop It or pull it with dodge roll.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Not
And
everything is Bop It.
It's practically Nobunaga's ambition.
You replace
No.
dodge roll, and instead of saying Bop It, it's I'm doing my wind up animation for my attack.
Yes.
I'm gonna bop you. And by you I mean Beach because I'm not comfortable bopping Paul. Which means I'll bop Beach twice.
Sure.
Paul, can you bop Beach for me?
So
He's
it's-
far away.
So
All
it's
things
not
are Bop
VR.
It.
It's just you're gonna click on
It's-
things on the screen.
Or with your Switch, your
No.
remotes.
Yeah. I
No,
mean, we're not
not
gonna do
not
that.
yours.
No, not mine.
Ones.
No,
One might do
refuse.
this.
One might do this.
How much is it? Do they even have a price?
Oh God.
It's AAA, so it's $60.
No, 70 now is the new
Here,
price.
sorry, I apologize.
This
Well-
is quadruple A.
I mean, we have talked. We have now spread the press release, so all of you are now aware that this exists. It is
$10.
$10.
Oh.
That's
God.
Canadian too.
$10 Canadian.
Which
So it's
means
probably
it's
like
probably like
Six bucks or
seven,
something.
six-
6 or 7.
Yeah. Oh well.
Yeah. Wait. Check out the trailer.
Okay, that's happening a little too fast to be. You have to mouse over shit.
You're playing at the 1 speed, right?
No, I'm saying.
I'm just
saying,
double checking because you accidentally ran the
Okay.
Rhythm Doctor trailer at 2 times speed on
and still thought it was
YouTube.
an appropriate speed. I was like,
No,
yeah,
that's
that
a
looks
real
bad.
speed. Yeah.
No, I'm just saying that the way it's working is it's like it's clearly they're gonna say, be like bop it, and you'll have to press Y to bop it, or you'll have to press A to twist it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that whole Simon Says nonsense. It's not I have to like, or do you have to use a joystick to bring the right one up and then press the button to say that's what I need to do? I need to roll the thing over so I can press this. And like, I don't know how you interact with it, but it looked like it was happening so like evenly that I was like, it literally could just be assigning a button to each control. Who knows?
Once you get comfortable with classic, give extreme a try and spin it and flick it. And you think you're good? See how you stack up against the world and global leaderboards.
Ah, yes.
Beat your buddies on the friend leaderboards. Log new high scores on your local leaderboards. You're on fire!
Next,
glad
you're gonna
this
tell
is
me that
not
they're
for
gonna
iOS.
make a video game version of Skip It.
Are you better with your friend? Are you better than your friends? Prove it with local multiplayer. Head to head, one-on-one. See who drops the streak first. Compare your session scores. Hot Bop It action. It says that's part of the marketing copy.
Okay, thank you.
Earn stickers to decorate your notebook in each in-game achievement. Reflexes of a jungle cat. I guess these are inserts from the game. Think you can stay in forever? Great, because the best part of Bop It the video game is that the levels never end. As long as you can stay in, the game will keep going.
Bop It was only ever interesting to me for about 3 minutes.
We had one. We had one at the office, or we had. Yeah, I remember.
Like we have like the tiny one.
Yeah, we got one here at the office for like a crap shot, right?
Yeah.
And then like people were playing with it for a while, and then we got tired.
Well, yeah,
of it.
because you play with it's kind of like it's kind of like just a really loud fidget toy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do like it will never end. You cannot escape the Bop It.
Please
If
do
you-
not insult Happy Fun Bop It.
Yes. If you attempt to escape the Bop It, you will be punished. Anyway. Thanks everybody for joining us. That was all the news that I thought was interesting to talk about this week. But thanks for joining us. And thanks for supporting us either here on Twitch by subscribing or on Patreon, patreon.com/loadingreadyrun. Or if you're watching this on YouTube, you can also subscribe or become a member of our YouTube channel, or you can subscribe, or you can follow, or do all those things.
Or hype, or
There's a lot of different
there's
ways
so
to
many
interact.
things. It's too many things.
Kind of leaving it on you guys to know how
yeah.
to do that.
Hype
can-
thing is actually a real thing because YouTube's rolling that out as a thing where you can hype videos
That's
Yeah.
right.
if they've been up for like the last 7 days or something, and then that will make them more visible. Apparently, I guess unless
We don't
everyone's
really
hyping
know.
things,
Yeah.
or whatever. I don't,
If
I'm so
you're-
mad
yeah.
at YouTube. Always.
If you're watching us on YouTube,
It's so exhausting.
Bop It.
Yeah.
yeah, bop it,
Bop
Twist
the
it.
Bop the store at store.loadingreadyrun.com.
punch it.
Anyway, thanks everybody for watching, and we will talk to you all later.
Goodbye it.
Bye.